Next chapter, what the next chapter is going to cover. Dealing with credit card stuff, charge accounts. A lot of, because this book's a little old, and some of you will, being the fact that we live in hillbilly heaven here. Some of you will understand it, but a lot of people won't. And it's a little different now when you get to like charge accounts and stuff. Used to be, especially being in farm country, used to be if a farmer went to the Oxy in El Dorado or Eaton or wherever to buy seed or something, they had a charge account. Yeah. Some of them still do. A lot of them don't near as much as they used to. Right?
They're rich.
Well, I don't know about that, but
Apple still has charge accounts everywhere.
see, that's
if he can get tax exempt everywhere, he's gonna get it.
And you know, it used to be if a farmer went to Ace Hardware down in Eaton, they probably had a charge account there. Ace Hardware sort of frowns on doing charge accounts for anybody now, so it's a little different. So charge accounts, they're not near as, you don't see them around near as much as you used to.
Can you get good credit to have a charge account? I mean, if you pay your bill on time,
It depends who it's through, because they gotta report it, and if they don't report it to, you know, places that are keeping track of your credit score,
yeah.
then it's not really gonna be helpful. It's something maybe you guys should think about, and I hate to even say this, but if you get a couple of credit cards, that actually helps your credit score, helps give you good credit, as long as you're paying them off. But what you should do is get them, use them just real, you know, sparingly. You use them, pay them off, use it, pay it off, use it, pay it off for a while, and then maybe get rid of them, and that helps your credit score go up. The bad thing is, I say that, and then, you know, Johnny goes out and uses it and does it for a while, then all of a sudden just starts charging a whole bunch of crap on it and gets behind, and then it hurts your credit score.
That's when you have to move out of the country.
But if you don't have credit cards and stuff like that, and you're not paying rent, you're not paying, you know, or you're not paying a mortgage, then your credit score, like if you guys checked out your credit score right now, probably not be very good.
Question?
Yes.
How does a credit score work?
It's just, I'm not sure how they.
Interest rates are better.
I'm not sure how they figure it, Seth, all right? I can't tell you that. But what a credit score is it tells whoever's looking at your spending habits and everything,
Doesn't it tell like
how reliable you are to pay them back. So if you went to the bank today and asked them for a $1,000 loan, they're probably not going to give it to you because your credit score probably isn't all that great. If I went to the bank and asked for a $1,000 loan, they probably wouldn't have any trouble giving me the loan because my credit score is pretty good.
So what you're basically telling me is they judge on how you spend.
Right. Sort of.
But
Now you gotta be careful because how you spend. Cage goes out and spends every penny that he has, then they're not going to be judged well. All right.
Basically, like if you want to get a loan out, it's better on your end because you can get it easier.
Now, if you do, you know, Dylan comes in here and he tells us all the time that he bought some new automobile and paid cash for it. That doesn't help his credit score. Because nobody sees that.
But if you have the cash and you pay credit on it and interest and spend another $3,000 on this $3,000 meter, is it worth it?
Right, and I'm not saying one way is right or, wrong. The bad thing is that if you do everything the way you did it, like my mom did the same thing. She had the credit cards that she had, and I probably told you this,
Yeah.
she always paid them off every month, so there wasn't any interest charged. Well, her credit score wasn't good, even though she paid off the credit cards all the time, every single month, without getting the service charge or the interest charge and stuff on it. It sort of hurt her credit. And then the credit card companies, once she got a little older, the credit card companies actually canceled her cards. She'd had one card for, I remember, one of the last credit cards I remember her having, she'd had it for like 30 years. And they canceled it because they weren't making any money off of her. So it didn't make sense to them to keep letting her charge something, pay it off, charge something, pay it off, because they weren't making any money. So they canceled her, and that hurt. When you get your credit card canceled, that actually hurts your credit score, because however they figure it up doesn't look at what all happened. It just sees that this credit card was canceled for such and such, and it looks bad.
Question. Would that make the credit card useless? Do we?
If it's canceled.
No, I mean, like, do we really need credit cards?
It's just easy.
If you ask my wife right now, no.
Easy
My
credit.
mom would say the same.
She's jumping on my butt right now because I've been being stupid again, so.
It's alright.
I had to take my credit card out of my wallet so that I'd quit spending money. Every so often, she'll lay my credit card bill, she'll lay it in the middle of the table. And I just,
She'd be like, look at this.
did you look at this the other day when I laid it out there? I said, nope. I'm wise to your tricks now, I'm not looking at it. Lay it out there all you want, I'm not looking at it anymore.
You just sit there and listen to her just.
Okay, okay.
In one
I,
ear and the
no,
other.
this time I actually just walked away because I didn't want to get in the argument. She said, did you look at that? I said, no, and then I went and found something else to do.
I'm going out to the bar for a while.
Part of it, because I don't think I've been charging anything on it. But part of it was, I charged like $600 on it about a month ago for something else that I wrote a check from the school to pay it off because it was something for the school. So it probably looked sort of bad because it had that extra $600 on there, but that $600 wasn't gonna be on there because I'd already sent them a check to pay it off. She got mad at me just because I don't pay attention. I had to order a part for a dishwasher the other day, and instead of putting it on my bank card, the credit card was already in the system where I was ordering the part from, and I just hit go on, and I didn't pay any attention to which card I was using, and she said, did you use the bank card? And I said, and then she goes, you didn't, because I didn't see it on there, and I seen it on the credit card, you should have used it. I screwed up, so that's what she mad at me. So, and I'll admit, I say that I didn't want to look at it. I really did want to look at it because I know it's my credit card is a whole lot higher than it should be. I figure I'm old enough, Aiden, that if I want something, then I'm gonna go ahead and get it. And when I die here in a few years, my life insurance policy will pay it off.
That's true.
They got about
That's not nice.
They got about 5 of them on me, so probably,
Let's go.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm probably worth about $800,000 or $900,000.
Heck yeah, you buy a new property on that one.
Dylan, that's not nice.
What?
All right, a credit card is a card authorizing, sorry, I said it anyway. Card authorizing purchases on credit. A lot of times, even your bank cards now, you want to run them as a credit card because the bank may charge you fees for using your bank card at Walmart or wherever, Kroger, whatever. They charge a fee for using it. So if you run it as credit, then a lot of banks don't charge for whatever reason. I never have figured that out, but you run it as a credit card instead of a bank card or a debit card, and they don't charge it. They don't charge a fee.
Even if you don't know you're paying, it's easy.
Yeah. Well, it's easier sometimes because every one of the stores has a different way to do it, and I hate asking.
Oh, yeah, yellow, red,
Right. You
green.
push the green button for credit, you push enter for credit, you push this button for, whatever. So about half the time, I don't feel like asking, especially if I'm at Walmart and you're going through the self-checkout. I just put in my PIN number and then she yells at me for using it as a bank card because we get charged like that's like a quarter or something fee.
Oh, that ain't bad.
Yeah, it adds up though when you.
Oh my gosh, it adds up. That penny adds up. Takes a while
Are
to
you
add up.
mocking his wife?
What?
Are you mocking his wife?
Yeah.
She's.
It does.
Probably
add-
fix your Ebersole.
It does add up. It's
It
especially
does, but-
that's Dylan's thinking as far as Dylan goes. I use my bank card probably 20 or 30 times a week.
Oh my gosh.
So, see, you're thinking using it, right, 5 times a week maybe.
Like when I pull money out of $1.25 a card, I'm like, that ain't that bad. I just pull 100 out, and I spend it next day. I gotta pull another 100 out.
That's
A
terrible.
finance charge is interest charged by a credit card or charge account. All you're doing when you're using a credit card is you're paying them for the convenience of not have to carry the cash around with you in case you don't have that much cash on you. You're paying them for the convenience of being able to get the item right then when you need to. Again, a charge account, it's not near like it used to be. When I was growing up here, every farmer had a charge account with, every hardware store, every oxy plant, they all had charge accounts. So if I was working for a farmer, I'd go in and say, John Smith sent me in to pick up this, and they just write out a bill and they put it on his account. Not nearly like it used to be. A lot of places don't do that anymore, especially hardware stores. There used to be a hardware store in El Dorado, and even my family wasn't farmers, and we had a charge account with that hardware store.
Where the church was? Where the church is?
It might be. It's right in the middle of town there.
Right where the library is?
Yeah, I'm not sure where
East side of the library?
I think. I'm not sure exactly where the library is now because
Why
they
not?
moved it.
It's in the middle.
See, the library used to be on the hill, there by Main Cross, that big building there where there's used to be fire trucks and EMTs and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
used to be right there. I don't know if they're still there anymore.
the firehouse.
Yeah, the firehouse is on the other side now.
Firehouse and EMS is on the other side. 'Cause if you go through that alleyway, it goes to my house.
Really? So, where the hardware used to be, there's right there in the middle of town, right across from, the car lot's on the corner.
Yeah.
On this side, right across the street there's a big building that has 3 different places in it.
Yeah, it's a church.
It's a church now?
And there's a library
Yeah.
on the left of
The
it.
library's on this side of it now. See, where you're saying the library used to be a grocery store.
Oh, okay.
So that was a grocery store, right next to it was the hardware store and an appliance store. And then, then there was a barber shop in there also.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it has changed.
Yeah, Ebersole just needs, their library and a church right there instead of anything else.
But there's a house on the right of it, the building, there's a house on the right of
On
it.
the right.
Right, and, yeah,
Right on the corner of Main and the firehouse room.
Yeah. Mill Street.
Yeah.
There's a house right there,
There's a
yeah.
house, the church, and then the library.
There's an empty lot in between the house and the
Yeah.
building, right?
Can I come clean the restroom? Can I quickly run the restroom?
But the hardware store there and the appliance store, the people that owned it lived right there in town. And I think once like our stove went out and we just went up there and charged it through them and got a new stove, then my mom paid it off, like that next couple of weeks. But most places don't do that now. Your statement, we talked about statements, some bank statements, we talked about them throughout the year. Shows the status of your account. It's what my wife had laying there, showing all the different charges and all the different fees. And when you have a credit card, they'll send you a statement and they'll say, this amount due. And it'll be a minimum amount that you're allowed to pay at that point. And you probably hear on radio and stuff as they advertise that if you pay the minimum, if let's say you have $1,000 on this charge card, if you pay the minimum, it take you like 70 years to pay it off. All right? Because as you're paying it, you're paying almost totally just the interest and very, very little on what you actually owe them. And they would love for you to pay the minimum all the time because that means you're going to be paying them money for the next however many years. All right? So try not to pay the minimum. And that works the same with like a mortgage. We talked about mortgages. You have a mortgage payment. Let's say my mortgage payment's $900. If you actually pay $950 or $1,000, you actually can pay your mortgage off 5, 6, 7 years quicker than the 20 or 25 or 30-year mortgage that you took out. So try not to make minimum payments.
Seems like you never get nowhere.
Right, and you would. Credit card uses, purchase stuff, cash advances. This is one thing I've never done, cash advances. There was a time back many, many years ago, not many years ago, but a few years ago, when that was a big deal. Credit card companies were giving people cash advances, and a lot of people got themselves in trouble. Oh, well, credit card company is just gonna give me $1,000, and then
They have to pay it back.
you gotta pay it back at some point, and
It's like that, free money we got from the government.
right. That's sort of about the same thing, except for the government lies to you and tells you that, hey, this is free money. No, it's not. We pay taxes.
We paid it in gas money.
Now we're paying it in cost of food and everything else because everything's went up so much.
Everything's skyrocketing. Buy one, get one free at the grocery store.
Even Kroger, I don't know, went the other day to Kroger and now instead of when you buy 5 you get $1 off or whatever, now it's 6.
I was just looking at hamburger, it's $3 a pound. He's like, I'm glad I have cows.
Now, the bad thing with having cows is that's not getting any cheaper either. I talked to somebody the other day about butchering one and they said, oh yeah, and they gave me a price and I said,
It's crazy.
it's ridiculous. And they said, oh, and it'll be 9 months down the road before we can get it to you because the butcher can't get it in for 9 months.
That's what Dad says, his the year before. It's a year.
Yeah.
15 for at least 1,000 a half a cow.
Yeah. Yeah, because my wife asked me, well, talk to everybody and see what they're selling half a cow for. It's a little ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Price look cheaper for groceries.
One of the guys I talked to said that he was sending his off to like, he just hauled a bunch to like Illinois or somewhere to get butchered because he couldn't get them in around here and he had to get, they were getting too old and he had to get rid of them.
Cool.
Again, a charge account's just a line of credit. Finance charge, usually the same stuff. Usually some interest rate. So a credit card company will say, you know, this is the amount. When you get a credit card, what you should look at, it'll say something like APR. Anybody remember what APR is?
Annual percentage rate.
Annual percentage rate, or APY.
Annual pay, year.
It's just same thing, except it goes by year, all right? Which means same thing. I'm not sure why there's two different names, but it'll say that plus it used to be, I'm not sure if it is now, 13%. So all this stuff you've been hearing on the news about the federal government raising the APR and lowering the APR,
What's that?
it's the annual percentage rate. So APR was about, it was like 3-point-something%. And then we started having all the inflation.
Yeah.
And to try to control the inflation, they raised the APR. There, a while back, everybody was, the housing, you know, everybody was buying, selling houses, and because there, a lot of people were trying to sell houses because they were making a lot of money off of it.
But
Well,
they don't buy houses.
now, they raised the APR and it's up to like 6 or 7%, and I think they're gonna raise it again. And, everybody quit buying houses because now it's hard to get a good mortgage rate. But when you get a credit card, what it'll say on, when you sign up for the credit card and stuff, it'll tell you this, what their percentage is, and it's a flexible percentage. So they might say, it's the APR, let's say the APR right now is 6%. I can't remember, I'd have to look it up. But then they're gonna add on 13% to that. That means the credit card
Percentage rate.
actually has a percentage rate of 19%.
So, if you got a mortgage at like whatever, so much percentage, when percent went up, does it go up too?
It depends on what you have. So sometimes mortgages and credit card accounts and stuff can either be a variable rate, which means it'll fluctuate with the APR and what the government sets the APR at, or it could be a fixed rate. So,
The fixed rate would be better.
sometimes. Like, I refinanced my house about, I don't know, 10 years ago or so. And at that point, interest rates were going down. So I set it at a variable rate. And then once I thought they were gonna start going back up, we went in and said, okay, we wanna change it to a fixed rate now.
That'd be cool.
And we stopped it, I think we were about 5% on our mortgage. And I stopped it too soon, cause it actually went down to like 3-something%. And so we're paying about 5% now, but that's better than, my son just bought a house, and he's gonna end up paying about 6.5% because that's about what it is now.
Which is good.
And he's gotta make that decision when he's signing all this paperwork and stuff. Okay, do I think it's gonna continue to go up? Or do I think it's gonna hit a high limit here and start to go back down? And right now, it's looking like it's gonna go up again, so he's setting it at a fixed
I didn't know
rate.
you could do that. That's cool. Fixed rate.
Now-
Not right now, you wouldn't wanna do that, cause the interest rate will go down
At some point,
at some
yeah.
point.
And you just, you know, you gotta make
Kinda
a
like
decision.
grain, like when you contract grain, you don't know what's in it.
Yeah, I talked to another farmer the other day, and he said, he had a bunch of, he had a bunch of corn or something that he left over, that he kept from last year. And he said he screwed up, because last year, they were getting all kinds of money for it.
Yeah.
This year, they're not getting anything for it, but they're charging all kinds of money for it.
Yeah.
Another guy, because one of the guys I talked to, they burn corn. He's got one of those outside big furnaces
Yeah.
things, and he burns corn in it.
Never heard of that.
And he said it's just ridiculous now to buy corn for it. As a matter of fact, I think he might have said he switched it over to something else, because
Probably would.
he couldn't buy the corn
Wood or
anymore.
propane.
Calculating a finance charge. This right here is probably the key to everything that we're gonna do. Again, I just got done saying this, prime rate plus 13%, that'll be, and it's prime rate, not APR. I guess APR is your total. I said that wrong. So the prime rate, that's what the federal government sets up is, hey, this is the prime rate, and I think, like I said, right now it's about 6%. And we talked about this, different companies charge these different ways. Depends on the company. Some of the stuff that we did earlier this year, we did the interest charge daily, monthly, yearly, semi-annually, so on, so on. Credit card companies do that same thing now. So you might know how to figure up what your finance charge or what your interest is gonna be for a month. And you might figure it up to be $7. And they come back and charge you, $7.32 or something, and because they figure it up a different way than what you figured up. So the periodic rate is just the APR, whatever your APR is, whatever the annual percentage rate is, divided by the periods per year. We might write this down over here. If it's yearly, how many times per year are they charging you?
One,
If it's semi-annual, how many times per year?
two,
If it's quarterly,
four,
4 times per year. If it's monthly, how many times per year?
bi-weekly,
If it's bi-weekly, which usually a credit card wouldn't be, but if it was bi-week, if it was weekly, what would it be? 52. If it was bi-weekly, what would it be?
it'd be every 2 weeks, right?
So that's 26, which credit card companies normally wouldn't, probably not gonna do that, all right, that's more of a paycheck. And then daily, what would daily be? Daily only has one L in it, doesn't it? Daily has one L. Daily would be how much? 365. Some places, and I think we'll talk about this as the chapter goes along, it's 365. Some places use 360 as a year, just to make it easier, I think.
So you get five extra days, no?
I have no idea.
I'm sure they
why
get
do
it somewhere.
Yeah, there's a reason for it, I just don't know. So if the APR, if your annual percentage rate on some credit card is 18%. And they charge you interest quarterly. That means you just divide by 4 here, change that to a decimal, that'd be 0.18. You divide that by 4, that tells you how much a rate you pay per month. And then that gets added in to your account, and then you pay interest on the interest that you paid the previous month, and so on and so on. And that's why most credit card companies now, with computers and everything, unlike when I said my mom paid off the credit card every month. Well, they wouldn't charge you till the end of the month when she had her credit card. Now, it's a daily thing. So if you get online and look at it, and you charged something yesterday that was $5, today it might be $5.02, tomorrow it might be $5.03, so on and so on. They're gonna charge you, that interest is gonna get added in every day.
Would it be better to charge little or more?
Little because the more.
I mean, you're still, it doesn't really matter, you're still paying the same percentage.
That's true.
So,
You're not paying as much, I guess.
right, money-wise, you know, if you charge $1,000, you're gonna, pay $10. If you charge $100, you're only gonna pay $1 or something, so, but it's still the same percentage.
Yeah. Don't seem as much.
Right, it doesn't seem like as much, but it's still, that's the teachers right now. So the question you're asking, Dylan, the teachers are doing a weight loss thing. So some of the teachers, not all of them, but
Like
some
to
of them.
lose weight?
Right, trying to lose weight, and you pay amount of money to get into it.
Yeah.
It's like a contest. And so I got into it because I need to lose some weight, and no chance of me winning. Absolutely no chance. Because I look at all these other people who are getting in it, and they weigh,
$1.50.
right, 150 pounds or something, and everything we're going by is a percentage. So I weigh that, and I lost 5 pounds the first week,
That's pretty good.
but 5 divided by 250, not a very good percentage. If they lose 5 pounds, whole lot better of a percentage.
Yeah.
So I just sort of donated my money, but
I think you're,
I
That's awful.
need
He
the
is nice.
motivation.
I was gonna say something, but I better not.
Is Ally talking bad about me?
No, she's talking about someone else. She's being mean.
I'm sorry to say it, but I don't think any teacher here would.
Oh, like,
Maybe Mr. Balls.
what,
Mr. Boggs,
150?
he's
Yeah, I don't know. Some of the females probably do.
I ain't gonna judge, I don't care. I'll get made fun
Right, so this will answer your question sort of, Dylan. How about a calculator so you can help me here a little bit? If you buy a soda, $1.79, a bag of chips for $1.69, using a credit card, and don't pay it off for a year, how much did it cost you if the card's APR is 23%? Now, when I wrote this
Big page.
problem, 23% was about a normal credit card rate. All right? It's not quite as bad now. When
Do we write that down?
well, we will here in a second. When
Oh, no.
President Obama was in office, he made it so credit card companies had to drop their interest rates, said, hey, they can't be above this. Now they're sneaking their way back up there. I'm not sure what my credit card, I need to look at it and see what my credit card is now. Because it was about 19%, and when he was in office, it dropped down to about 15 or 16%, because he said that all credit card companies had to lower their interest rates. But now they're working their way right back up, or just like ATMs, we talked about that. He set a law where ATMs could only charge so much money for drawing out money,
I don't like it.
and it was like $1 or $2 was the limit, and now it's creeping its way back up to, I've seen them where they're charging $3.50 and stuff like
For
that.
the interest to hold the money out?
Just a charge when you put your,
Yeah, the charge.
yeah,
It's $1.25 would be nice.
yeah, some of them, you know, the
Yeah.
gas station outside of Eden's like $1, but
Yeah.
some of them are like $2.50, $3. Yeah.
I said
Just
something
depends
about
where it's
some
at.
of
The one
them
at the
charge
fairgrounds is $4. That one's
That
expensive.
one's
Which one?
obnoxious.
At the fairgrounds?
Yeah.
That's expensive.
Well, see, ones that like the fair, that's what I was
Oh,
gonna say,
yeah.
ones that like the fairground, I have season tickets to go to the University of Dayton basketball.
Mhm.
The one that's in the basketball arena is like $5.
Yeah.
Because they know they have you. You can't go anywhere else to get the money, so
You're just gonna pay
You
it.
gotta pay.
$5 don't seem like that much, but after all them people,
yeah.
they're gonna make bomb off of it.
Somebody help me out, what's our total charge here?
179, 169.
348.
348. So we are charging $3.48. Interest rate's 23%, so what we're gonna do, 348. If we just leave that money set there, and we're going to go, pay 1 year, how much card, and don't pay it off. We're not, they would normally add this in per day. We'll say that they add it in monthly, because per day, how many days are in a year? We'd have to do it 365 times, and we don't wanna do all that, alright? So, we're just gonna do it monthly. So 348, and we're gonna have to do the same thing over and over again, so you guys are just gonna tell me what it
Times
is.
0.23,
Times 0.23.
0.80.
Just round off to the nearest penny, so 80 cents.
Yep.
Now, we're gonna add that back to the 348. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's wrong. Don't do that.
$80 and 4 cents,
Yeah, don't,
or like, does that sound?
.80.
That's what I think.
I did something wrong here. Let's see, eraser. We gotta change this. That's wrong, that's wrong. Because we're not charging, they're not gonna charge us 23%. They're gonna charge us 0.23 divided by, if we're doing it monthly, how many times are they gonna charge us?
12.
We gotta divide that by 12. So what's 0.23 divided by 12? Go out 3 decimal places.
0.019.
That's what we're gonna multiply by here. So keep that number in mind. Multiply that, what's that give us?
0.066.
So about 7.
Yeah.
So about 7 cents they're gonna add that first month. Then what we're gonna have to do, so this is month 1, I'm just gonna put a 1 there. Month 2, we're gonna take 348 plus 0.07. I think that gives us 355, doesn't it? And we're gonna times that by 0.019. What's that give us?
0.067.
So about 7 cents again. So the second month, we're gonna get charged another 7 cents. And we're gonna add that to it, and that's about 362. And we're gonna times that by 0.019. What's that give us?
0.068.
So 0.07 again, add that to it, that's 369. And we're gonna times that by 0.019.
0.07.
Add that to it, that's about 376, and I know what Dylan's gonna tell us, cause he's been telling us, oh, that's not that much money. But, is this gonna add up real quickly? And all we did was charge a soda and a bag of chips. What's that give us?
.07.
Add that to it, that's 383, times that by 0.019.
.07.
add that to that, that's 390. Times that by 0.019.
3.7.
So now we got,
Probably 0.07 on
we got 7, that we're on the 7th month, 8th month. We're gonna add that to it, so 397 times 0.019.
0.075.
So 0.08.
8.
So now we're at, what is that, 4.05? $4.05, times that by 0.019,
0.076.
8 cents again.
Yep.
413 times, that's 9th month, now 10th month, times that by 0.019.
0.078, so 0.808.
421 times that by 0.019.
0.079, so 0.808.
That'd be 429 now we're at. 12th month finally for a year. We left this set. 0.019. So after 12 months, we add that on. How much did the chips and the pop cost us?
437.
$4.37.
After a year, that ain't bad.
I knew Dylan would say that. So just for a bag of chips and a pop, we're almost paying, what, 90 cents extra?
Yeah.
Minus
If we leave it set there a year. And it's actually gonna be more than that,
0.89. 89 cents.
89 cents. So it's actually gonna be more than that, because we did it monthly. Most credit card companies now do it
Daily.
daily. So it's not gonna be a whole lot more than that, but it's gonna be a little bit more than that.
Probably $1.
It'd probably be just a few extra pennies.
That ain't bad. 91 cents sit there for a year.
Would you really wanna pay 90 more cents on a pop and bag of chips?
Yeah, I don't care. After a year it sits there, I'll make that in a year. I'll make $2 in a year.
Off of his-
Dylan, you're not getting the point. If you,
I don't care. I'll get
what I'm saying here, look at what happens. You said it's 89 cents, right?
Yeah.
So let's do this. It cost us $3.48. Take 8.89 divided by $3.48.
It's only 0.226 cents a month.
So that 0.26, we change that to a percentage.
I guess that's a quarter.
So
You're paying 26% more.
you're paying 26% more for that because you left it set on that credit card
That
for a
sounds like
year.
a lot.
That's the whole
I don't
point.
know.
So it doesn't look like a lot when I'm doing this, just a bag of chips and a pop.
But you
But
got
if it was
there.
something more expensive, so if we would've took a $10,000 car and did it, and you're paying 26% more, what's 10,000 times 0.26?
Times 0.26, 2,600.
So now, instead of paying $10,000 for that car, if you left it sit there for a year,
12,600.
you're gonna pay $12,600 for it.
Which I mean, yeah.
Alright? So, I understand if I'm just using small numbers like this, you're thinking, 89 cents, that ain't a big deal. It is, if you think about the percentage and what extra you're paying for no reason other than that stuff's sitting there, and you put it on the credit card, did you really need it? Probably not. Now, a car, I didn't want to do a car, because you may have really needed the car. Soda and the bag of chips, probably didn't really need that.
You do every day after school.
No, I'd say I sort of quit.
Did you?
Yeah, I haven't been doing that anymore.
That's good. Save you a little couple dollars every day.
Yep.
You stop doing that?
Heck yeah, every day. I stopped in New Mass yesterday at 4 o'clock.
Alright, this formula, how you figure this stuff up, new balance equals the previous balance plus the finance charge plus the new purchases minus payments and credits. Again, the credits part, not like it was in the past, Elijah. You don't see many credit card companies giving you credit for something. All right? Used to be that, some finance companies and stuff would give you a credit for whatever, for, doing more business with them or something. That doesn't happen anymore. Maybe if your business was going through them and you had 6 employees or 10 employees or something, and you paid your employees through that credit company using, their accounts, they might give you a credit towards your charge account.
Well, like, Co-Alliance, they'll pay their farmers back at the end of the year if they made extra money,
Right.
which is cool. That kinda helps the farmers back out. It might not be much, but still some.
Yeah, it helps a little bit. We were gonna do these, I wasted too much time, so we're not gonna do these examples. This is the assignment, we're gonna do it together. So get out a clean sheet of paper, books open. Stage, you can read everything to me.
That's too early, sorry. You're surprised he's even here. Like, even here.
I'm surprised. Hey, I had an actual excuse last week.
Alright.
You can ask Elijah, and Adam, they both see my eyes swollen.
Somebody help me out and tell me what was that last formula? So I can just write it up here.
I don't know, I'm trying to
It's the,
Well, has it?
Couple pages back.
Yeah. I don't know which one. I don't think, the new balance, the thing
Already
you
got
got.
it.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna turn on the disk.
What my grandpa sounds like after he took a stroll.
Number 1, and these aren't very difficult, so we should be able to do them fairly quickly.
Alright.
Just have your calculator out. So you can help me.
600 plus 750. Blah, blah, blah.
All you do is, on this one, it tells you right up top there what you're doing. So it's 600 plus 750 plus 90 minus 100. What's that give us?
597.50.
Say it again.
597.50.
197.5.
Remember, we need what here? Just
Money.
0.5?
Money.
0. You gotta have that 0 there. So that's answer number 1.
Money.
Number 2. Do the same thing on that.
278.
Put stuff on there. It's like fully done.
If I get number 2,
$366.78.
78 cents.
Yeah.
Everybody agree with that?
No.
No?
I got 270.78.
Yeah.
They're presented there.
270.78?
Yes.
Everybody agree with that?
Oh, I didn't do the minus, I plussed it.
You don't know what
That makes
you're at least able to.
Number 3, on number 3, what are you gonna do with the billing date? Absolutely nothing. Doesn't mean anything. So previous balance, 600, what do we do with the finance charge? What- Add it. What do we do with the new purchases? Add it. What do we do with the payments and credits? Minus. So same thing, they just didn't put all the pluses and minuses in there for you. 649. Everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
$649.
Number 4,
You have to put the zeros
do we need the zeros on the end?
on. Yeah. It's money.
Yes.
Don't really matter. Good.
Number 4,
410.
442, what?
95.
Anybody else agree with that?
Yeah.
Number 5, same setup.
337.65.
337.65.
Yep.
Anybody else get that?
Good. 6.
Say it again.
142.
69.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody else get that?
4269.
Yes, no, maybe?
Yes, got it.
Number 7, Tate, start using that calculator and quit blowing on that stupid thing. What's different about number 7?
It doesn't give you a finance.
No finance charge.
That means you don't have one.
Means you don't have one, so you don't have to add that in.
416.34.
You could actually looked at that one without plugging it into your calculator. What do you notice? What do you notice that they did at the end of the month?
It subtracts the same.
They paid off the previous balance and just had the new balances in there, and that's what the 416 was. Number 8. Say it one more time.
2,225.
Even?
2,225 even.
And 11 cents.
11 cents. Everybody got those?
Yep. Number 9.
Because I'm going to erase them. Because number 9's a word problem then.
Control you can, I have previous
Number 9 says, Andre charge card account has a previous balance of 1787.29.
29. Or made a $200 payment.
So what are we going to do with the $200 payment?
Add it.
Minus it.
The new purchase includes $47.97.
What are we going to do with all those?
Add them.
So 40 plus 47.97 plus
49.28.
plus
83.21 and $75.63. And a whatever charge of $11.81.
So what do we do with the finance charge?
Minus it? Or add it?
Which one is it? Finance charge.
Finance would be-
You're adding it, that's what they're charging you. And some of you on the last test messed that up, because if it's interest, if it's a credit card, you gotta be careful here, because if it's interest for a credit card, that's more money that you're paying out. If it's interest on a savings account, that's more money that you're getting in, alright? So what was the finance charge?
$11.81.
Is that all of it?
And a credit of $45.89.
What do we do with the credit? Add it or subtract it? Subtract it, because that's, they're giving you some credit. You said 45.89? Is that what you
Yeah.
said?
$45.89.
So you do all that, what's that give us? Might wanna have 2 or 3 of you do it, because I about guarantee that somebody puts it into their calculator wrong.
I got $1,809.30.
30 cents?
Yep.
That's what I got too.
Is that right? Is that what we're going with?
Hold on. 83.21. 75.
I was 3 cents on. I don't know what I did wrong, but I got 27 instead of 30.
I got $1,809.30.
So is that what we're going with then?
Yep.
Alright.
You try to type a 9 instead of an 8.
Number 10, Alice's monthly credit card statement has a previous balance of $307.85. Somebody keep going there for me so I don't have to keep trying to read it.
Where are we at, Terry?
10.
Credit card statement has a previous balance of $307.85. It shows Alice's $40 payment.
So what do we do with that?
Add payment.
$40 payment.
Minus
Minus.
40.
So minus 40.
This month's new purchase were $9.50.
What are we gonna do with new purchases?
And
Add them, so plus $9.50.
And $41.75. The account posted a $23.75 credit,
So what do we do with the credit? Subtract it.
and the finance charge is $4.62.
What do we do with the finance charge?
Add.
$4.62, is that what you said?
Yep.
$299, $299.96.
97 cents? Anybody else get that?
Yeah.
Is that what we're going with then? $299.97?
$299.97.
Number 11. What's it say our previous balance is on number 11?
$144.79.
79 cents?
Yeah.
Then what's it say?
And then it says he made a payment of $144.79.
So what are we gonna do with that?
0.
That means he just paid it off, right?
Yeah.
So we can sort of get rid of that, we only need to punch that in our calculator,
And
and
then
just paying it off.
And then, what?
Go ahead.
Okay. And then it said he had purchases or charges for $125.22.
Say it one more time.
And he had charges of $125.22.
Okay.
And then another one for $23
finance charge?
Yeah,
So is that it?
yeah.
Yeah.
No credits, nothing else?
Mm-mm.
So what do we do with those three?
Just add them up.
Just add all three of those up? Again, why would he have not had a finance charge? This
Because you
is,
already paid it off.
he paid off the monthly, and that's what they teach you to do, which Ebersole didn't learn very well. You charge something for the month, you pay it off at the end of the month. You charge something, you pay it off. Now, again, the bad thing with credit cards now is, unlike when this book was probably printed, they probably charged it by the month. Now, it's more added in by the day, or some credit card companies use the average balance for the month, and so on and so on. What'd this come out to be?
$182.09.
Anybody else get that?
Yeah.
12.
Is everybody with us to that point, so I need recess? Yes, no, maybe?
Mhm.
Number 12. Amber. Statement for credit card shows a $529.78. $529.78 previous balance.
Her $85 payment.
So what do we do with the payment?
Subtract.
Subtract it.
And a $7.95 financial.
Finance charge, so what's that gonna, what are we gonna do with it? Add $7 and what? What was?
95 cents.
Okay.
And credits of $49.45.
What do we do with credits?
Minus one.
Minus them?
And $39.22.
Another credit?
Yeah,
So-
minus.
So minus $39 and what?
22 cents.
Is that all of it?
This month's new purchase are $277.32.
What do we do with new purchases?
Add.
Add,
$277.32, is that what you said?
yeah, and $38.20. So add again.
$38.20?
Yeah. That's it.
$100.49, $149.80.
And 80 cents?
Yeah.
Boy, that don't sound right.
Because before you add all the new purchases, for me, I was in the negative.
I'm not sure how. 'Cause the reason I don't think it sounds right, we got 85, this is about 50, this is about 40, that's about 170. We were already $500 in the hole, we paid about 170 off. We should be at least $400 in the hole still, or so, somewhere around there.
$679.58.
What is it?
$679.58.
Anybody else get that?
Yeah, that's what I got.
The only thing I can think that maybe you did, Kylie, did you subtract off these last couple here? Because I'm not sure how you would have been in the negatives if you started out $529.
529 minus 85.
13. Mario received the charge account statement partially shown below. Find payments and credits, new purchases, and the new balance. So payments and credits. So everybody see the column for payments and credits?
Yeah, so add them up.
Add them up. You think every charge account bill is gonna look like this?
No.
No, again, every company has their own different little thing that they do.
$109.90.
Anybody else get that?
Yep.
Part B says, New purchases.
B.
Where's new purchases at on there?
Under charges?
Yeah, I
Under
think
charges.
it's charges.
Alright,
42,
what's that come out to be?
188.73.
Remember, this was payments, right? So that's payments. This is new charges. What do you do with payments?
Subtracted.
Subtract them. What do you do with charges? Add them on. What was the previous balance?
New balance.
What was the previous balance?
$285.92.
Does everybody see where that's at on the bill there? And we're gonna subtract off the 109.90, and we're gonna add on the 188.73. That's gonna give us our new balance. What's that give us? Oh, did I forget finance charge?
No? Well.
Is there a finance
Oh,
charge
yeah,
there?
529.
So plus another 529. Huh? Oh, it's 429? What's that give you total? That says plus 429. Aiden can't read it over there because I wrote it so bad. He never ever read
$369.04.
$369.04. Anybody else get that?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Does everybody have that one so I can erase all this?
Hang on.
We're done. No, we got one.
No, that's not crazy. That's the first time we finished our homework in class since like the first semester.
And now you don't have an excuse for not turning
I'm sure somebody will still have an excuse.
Someone still forget.
Does everybody got it?
Or the dog chewed it
Is his name Dylan Ackley?
up. What?
Is his name
14, a little tougher one on 14. Chester reviewed his credit card's monthly statement. It shows a 2,376.10 previous balance. And this month's new purchases. Somebody do me a favor. See all those new purchases there? Add those up so I don't have to do it here in a little while. Just we'll figure out what it is. So as I'm reading it, add up all the new purchases that Chester has there. It also shows a $875.22 credit and a $45.30 finance charge. He also made a minimum payment of 2.5% of the previous balance. What is his new balance? If I get the new charges yet?
$1,007.42.
Ignore that line going across through there. That's a $1,007.42. So that's the new charges. The previous balance was $2376.10, correct? They said he made a minimum payment. Minimum payment was 2.5%. So he made a payment of 2.5% of this. How are we gonna find how much he paid?
Divide or not?
You're gonna times it by, if it's 2.5%, what is that as a decimal? 0.025, please don't forget that. Somebody multiply that for us.
$59.40.
Yeah, get
No.
Yes.
it was the same thing.
Mamma mia.
I just don't think it's getting along with it.
So what was the payments again?
The new.
Or the new
$1,007.42.
42 cents?
Yeah.
And what was the payment?
The percentage?
Yeah, once, when you multiplied the .02,
$59.40. Is that right?
What was he started with a balance of 2, 3, 6, 7, 10. What are we gonna do with the new purchases? You add them on, right?
Yeah.
What do you do with the payment? Minus it. What else did they tell us that Chester did?
Credit and finance.
So he had a credit.
Charge.
How much credit did he have?
$45.30.
What do we do with that? Subtract it. He had another
That's
credit.
not his credit. That
Oh,
was the finance charge.
that's the finance charge, so do we subtract it?
No, you have that one.
You add it, what was his credit?
875.20 cents.
That one you subtract, right? Anything else?
Your first semester is 23.76.
76 here? Somebody do all that for us. Just looking at it as you're doing it, if I'm just sort of looking at it and doing it in my head, looks like he paid off about 1,000, so he's about 1,300. Then he added on another 1,000, so he's back up to about 2,300. He should be 2,300, 2,400, somewhere around in that area.
Okay.
$2,494.50.
50 cents?
Yeah.
Anybody else agree with that?
I got 94.20 cents.
20 cents, which one is it? Got 20?
I was gonna
I'm going with
So $2,494.20, is that the one we're going with? Yes, no, maybe?
Hang on.
That's weird, it was the same number, except
Probably what happened there.
We just added it, so.
added up to.
Hit a wrong button somewhere on your calculator.
So that's the answer.